expert care from people who care. Hello, everybody. Today we are here at the Outreach Teen and Family Services office. I'm Gina Franco.
And I'm Jackie Baralar.
And we're your new hosts. Today we're going to talk about ourselves and discussing how we recognize and deal with our own mental health through healthy coping mechanisms.
But really quick, we're going to start with a little fast five. Starting off, do you consider yourself more introverted or extroverted?
I would say that I'm an introverted extrovert. I'm going to mix the two. I am pretty extroverted. I like to talk a lot. I do talk a lot. But at the same time, internally, I'm freaking out as that's happening.
I would also consider myself the same thing as well. I'm definitely very extroverted. I love socializing. I think it's so much fun. But deep down, I am very introverted and shy, especially at first, too. Once you get to know me, it's
for sure. Different. I would agree with that. Are you more of an organizer, or do you like to go with the flow? Do you plan, or do you go with the flow?
I'm a big planner.
Okay.
I love to organize. I have like 3 different planners at home. So when things are, go with the flow, I just can't. I freak out.
Okay. I feel like, again, I can't pick one side, but I feel like I'm definitely a combination. Like at the beginning of the semester, I have my new agenda. I'm going to plan everything out. I'm going to be so organized. But by halfway through, I'm just, okay, whatever. I just have to do what I'm doing and figure it out as we move forward. So definitely a combination.
I love that. Are you more of a morning person or a night owl?
I would say I'm naturally more of a night owl, but I've been recently trying to get into a rhythm where I wake up earlier, because I used to sleep in way too long.
Wait, what's early though? Like, what time do you usually wake up?
Well, I have an alarm that goes off every day at 9, but I'm usually up before that. So like I would say like 8:30 is when I'm up.
That's so perfect. I want to be like that. I'm definitely a night owl. I stay up super late. Being a morning person, I can't bring myself to it. I think the earliest that I can get myself up is like 10 a.m. Before then, I'm just not even there.
That's fair. That is fair. Okay, so painful truth or comforting lie?
I love this one.
Mm-hmm. This is a good one.
I know, this is a good one. I'm definitely painful truth. I just like people to tell me how it is. I'm the same way with my friends and everything. That's what they compliment me most for. So, I don't know, comforting lie, I just don't like lies.
Yes, I agree. I'm so painful truth. We did house superlatives, and I got brutally honest. So, I'm definitely painful truth. I think that obviously there's some scenarios where a little lie is probably better. But I think the general rule is truth for sure.
I agree completely. Are you more of a remote person or an in-person for like academics classes?
I think it depends on the class. For the most part, I would say I like to be more hands-on. I pay attention better. But at the same time, there's certain courses where it's definitely easier to be remote and just be able to go at my own speed.
I completely agree with that. I definitely feel like a hybrid is really nice. For the most part, though, I would say in-person classes are just a lot better, just because I feel like you understand things.
Agreed. Forces you to pay attention, too.
Yes.
We would like to pause and thank St. Clair Health for being our annual sponsor for the 3rd year of our podcast.
At St. Clair Health, we're always improving, building on our commitment to face the challenges of today, making an impact on the communities we serve, so we can be stronger together. St. Clair Health, expert care from people who care.
All right, diving into our topic today, we wanted to discuss coping mechanisms. And so we wanted to identify, what is a coping mechanism?
So, a coping mechanism is a strategy people often use in the face of stress and or trauma to help manage painful or difficult emotions. So what is considered an unhealthy or healthy mechanism?
Healthy mechanisms can be considered, this is dependent on sleep, eating, actively making sure that you're functioning throughout the day. Stability is a big part of that, and unhealthy would be the opposite of that. So with that, we have our own personal experiences with unhealthy coping mechanisms. I myself struggle with making sure I'm eating all the time. As a college student, we don't always have that time or schedule to make sure that we're eating, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes.
I'm lucky enough to get breakfast in the morning sometimes, so
agreed.
Yeah.
I struggle with that as well. I feel like this is it seems silly to say, but I am a stress shopper. Anytime I'm anxious, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go on Amazon and see, because the packages that come, it's like instant just excitement. I'm like, okay, boosting serotonin. Like, so I love to have something at my door, but it's not the best way for me to handle my emotions, obviously, because they're not necessary purchases by any means. But yeah, so I think that's my main one. Also, I think a good one to talk about is isolation as well. I pull away from a lot of people in my life that don't deserve it when I'm super anxious or I'm stressed or I'm overwhelmed with things. And I think that's natural. And you don't necessarily notice you're doing it. Like it'll be like weeks afterwards and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't talked to like this person or this person in so long, and it's not their fault, but it's like I've been so in my own world and so worked up about whatever it is that I haven't had the time to put the energy I needed into my relationships and the connections that are necessary for you to honestly like work through those emotions and things like that. So I would say that's something else that I struggle with. And it's very like negative coping mechanisms are not necessarily something that you can like pick out right away. They're usually like you're doing them without even knowing. So that's something that is usually what I fall into. And it takes me a little bit to notice I've fallen into that spot.
And with that, why do you think it's important to acknowledge these unhealthy coping mechanisms?
I think it's important because a lot of times they're self-destructive. Like I was just talking about with isolation, I'm not necessarily doing it because that's what I need in the moment. I'm doing it because I think it's necessary in a twisted way, or that like, oh, these people probably don't want to deal with me right now because I'm doing this or I'm doing whatever. And so it's important because you're kind of uprooting your life in certain ways, or making decisions that you might not make if you were taking a step back and actually acknowledging those like decisions that you're making.
It almost feels like it's not yourself. You're harming yourself in that way, and it can be very detrimental, especially the longevity of everything. It can definitely catch up to you and just like hit you in the face and become even more overwhelming than it was initially in the beginning. So just being able to acknowledge it right hand, you can use coping mechanisms in order to strategically maneuver around it.
Yeah, I like that.
We would like to pause and thank St. Clair Health for their generosity in sponsoring the 3rd season of Teens Tap In.
At St. Clair Health, we're always improving, building on our commitment to face the challenges of today, making an impact on the communities we serve so we can be stronger together by creating reliable resources that recognize all of our neighbors with access to the highest quality healthcare, advanced care close to home, and a shared humanity that delivers on our joint vision to create a healthier community for all. St. Clair Health, expert care from people who care.
So, kind of going off of all of this, we kind of wanted to talk about healthy mechanisms, obviously. Twist it. We were on the negative side. Now we're positive. So, Jackie, what are healthy coping mechanisms that you use?
So, Gina, my coping mechanism that I love is crocheting.
I've never done this before.
And I'm so excited to teach you.
Oh, okay. I'm actually really nervous because I tried knitting during the pandemic, and
knitting is so hard.
Horrible. I was genuinely horrible. But I'm very excited. I hope this is a change.
I'm so excited. All right. So if you guys haven't figured out already, I'm going to be teaching Gina how to crochet today.
So I have my rainbow yarn and I'm ready.
So we have our hooks and our yarn, and we're just gonna take the end of our yarn,
Okay.
and we're gonna tie it into like a little knot.
Okay.
So if you just twist it and then pull through, you'll make like a little loop.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay, so if you make it into like a loop initially at first like this,
Okay.
and then take your finger and twist it, you're gonna get like the X, and then pull that longer strand through the hole, and then it'll tie.
I think I got it. Did I get it?
You got it. Yes. You got it.
Okay.
Okay, so then you're gonna take your hook and put that through the hole.
Okay.
Okay, are you right hand or left hand dominant?
Right-handed.
Right-handed? Okay,
Right.
yep. So you want to hold the hook in your right hand.
Okay.
And then you want to tighten it so that the loop is tight against the hook.
Wait, I don't think I can tighten it anymore.
Try to pull
Right.
both strings at once. There she is.
Through. Hook through.
Hook through, and then pull both ends. And then it should tighten.
Okay.
Oh, yep. Keep
go
it
under or
yeah, a little
okay.
lower.
All the way.
Yeah, definitely
Okay,
lower.
perfect.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, this is
She's here. She's ready.
Okay, so you are gonna take your longer strand with all of your yarn.
Okay.
And you are gonna hold it on your index finger.
Yep.
And then you're also gonna hold onto your hook.
Okay.
So when you do it, you're gonna hold the bottom and the top kind of like a T.
Okay.
Oh wait.
Okay. Wait. I think
So it's like kind of tense, and you can like maneuver the tension of the string.
like this.
All right, so the next part that we're going to do is we're going to put the yarn on our index finger, and then we're just going to kind of hold that tension there. So if you're right hand dominant, you're going to hold the hook in your right hand. If you're left hand, it's going to be the opposite. You have it's like this, and then you want to put your two fingers on the loop so that it doesn't move. And yes. Oh my god,
Okay,
yes.
slay.
Okay. So yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay. So then
Proud mom.
so proud. Okay, so you're gonna take your hook, you're gonna go under the yarn, and then you're gonna take that handle and you're gonna pull that through your loop. Okay. So again, just going underneath it and then pulling it towards the loop and then through. The loop that you made. That little loop. Yep.
She's very little. Okay, wait.
Tiny. That's it.
Oh, slay.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, awesome. Wait, okay, I'm gonna try and do it by myself now, real
Absolutely.
quick. Okay. Wait. Here, hook.
That's too many.
Shoot.
It's just one twist, like underneath it.
Okay. Like that? Oh wait.
Yes. Yeah. No. You were right the first time.
Go there. Okay, you know what? Oh wait, shoot! I lost it. Here. Did I get a second one? I don't know.
No, I don't know. I think the loop is just big, so I think if you just pull the purple a little, yeah, and then Oh no, this is the top. You want that one?
Oh, yes. Okay, we're gonna have to pause again.
Oh, just one through. So
does it go over? Or under?
It goes under.
Wait, okay, here.
So then you have it there, and then you just want to pull your hook towards you. No, that's over. Yep, that, and then you want to pull it through there, through your hole. There, yeah, and then it's gonna make it's gonna make like a little chain.
Yes.
And then you're just gonna keep chaining it until you like the length. And then depending on that, you can either make a purse, make a sweater, a blanket, anything. It's just like however big you want it to be. And then you have to rotate it, and then it'll just expand, and it's so much fun. There's like different stitches, but every single project that you start off with will always start with a chain, and then all the other complicated stuff will come after.
Thank you for teaching me that, Jackie.
Of course.
I'm still not a pro, but we're getting there.
Honestly,
we got
you've picked it up that quick is really impressive. Because it took me for a while.
Thank you.
Like, that's really good.
I don't know what we're going to have by the end of this episode, but we're going to try our best. Oh, I got another one. Okay. So how did you fall into crocheting?
Oh my goodness. That's such a good question. Actually, I started looking at, TikTok. Everybody is on there.
Yes.
And I fell onto the crochet page. And I just loved everything that they were making. I'm very artsy, craftsy, hands-on. So I really wanted to pick it up. And my best friend and I were very intrigued by it. She actually started to crochet before me. So then she taught me. And then it just kind of like escalated from there. And then we just started making, everything. Bags, purses, dresses.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I know. I made my birthday dress.
I love
so
that.
Cute. I love it.
I need a dress.
I'll show you. I would love to.
Yeah, I would love to see a picture. But that is so cool. So, like, do you do that for your friends too and things like that, or is it just kind of your own little side business?
So I have made like all of my friends like purses and water bottle holders and everything like that.
Cool.
Just for them to have. I want to make my cat a crochet blanket.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
But yeah, it's kind of just turned into a lot. And so I've started like this little side business that I'm doing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Let me see. Oh my gosh. I love it.
Thank you.
That is crazy. That's really impressive.
Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, it's a lot. It took like about, I don't know, a week or two to finish this. But it fits like perfectly and it's so much fun and I love sharing it with other people just because it's handmade. So it's very special.
Yeah.
And so it's been fun.
That is so awesome. I feel like that is such a good example of ways that coping mechanisms can turn into something even bigger that you didn't think. Like you started just crocheting in front of the TV and now look at you. That's so awesome.
Literally, it's crazy.
I love it.
Segueing into that, Gina, what mechanisms do you have?
I think a big influence that I found recently is yoga. And this is something that I fell into because it was easy to fall into almost. It wasn't like a life-changing, oh, I'm gonna do yoga. It was just like my friend worked at a yoga studio and she was like, you want to take a free class? And I was like, yeah, why not? I've always wanted to try it. And I tried it and I loved it. But even then I was still like, I don't know if I can come back and take this class by myself. I'm like, I'm nervous, like trying new things. I didn't know the teachers very well. So it was so great having her to kind of lean on and take classes with to start out, get to know the teachers, everything, until I was comfortable enough to go by myself. And then once I had that, I was going, like, during the summer when I didn't have as much, I was going, like, 5 times a week. I was really in the grind. I loved it. It was helping me so much. But, like everything, it ebbs and flows. And right now with school, it's really chaotic. Yeah, and I don't get to go as much. But that's also, I feel like with any sort of mechanism, you kind of go in and out. Which is important to remember, that you don't always have to be like, really into one thing and that's going to fix my mental health. But it is really nice to have and to fall back on. And every time I do fall back on it, I'm like, okay, like this is why I do it. I feel so much calmer. I feel like it just helps me keep my thoughts like together, at least for that hour or whatever my class is, bringing it back. And even just an hour of calm is so nice to have in just days of chaos and weeks of chaos.
So Gina, going off of that, I know that I love crochet and it has changed my world completely. Yeah. I know that you mentioned that you love yoga so much.
Yes.
Has that changed your life in any way?
Yeah, I mean, I think in a lot of ways. But kind of going off of what you were talking about with, starting your business and things like that. I've been recently considering getting my certification for yoga teaching.
Cool.
And I just think it would be a really cool experience. Not only to be able to teach yoga, but also just like getting closer with my body and my mind, and the whole practice of yoga is really cool when you break it down, and the breath work and the meditation aspects. I just think it's a really cool practice, and how it's used in the mental health realm is also really cool. And they say with people that have kind of had experiences where they feel disconnected from their body, or kind of like disassociated from their body, yoga is a way to, bring themselves back to their body and realize, kind of take ownership of it again,
so
which
beautiful.
I think is really cool, and something that I'm really interested in. So yeah, I think that it's been awesome to find something that resonates with me that deeply, that just happened to also be really good for my mental health. But like we were kind of talking about, those things, they should just be something that you enjoy and come easy to you. It doesn't have to be something super complicated or something you feel like you should be doing. It should be something that you have interest in and you think is good for you. But not everyone, has the opportunity to go out and take all of these classes, or maybe even the time to do that. So I think it's really important also to kind of shout out some easy and free everyday mechanisms that I use, and then maybe some that you use. Because I'll do like a 5-minute meditation in the morning or something like that. Or I'll journal. I love to journal. Do you journal?
I do. I love it.
I'm not like very consistent with it.
No.
At all. Sometimes I'll like come back and be like, oh, my last entry was like 2 months ago, and look how much has changed. But it's super nice to just be able to write down what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling in a moment, and it just helps me so much. And again, it's something easy that I can just take 5-10 minutes to do, and it can help me clear my thoughts a little bit more.
Especially just reflecting on it, specifically with journaling too. I mean, you were saying like 2 months you had it, and then you looked back at that and you saw where you were at, and then pivoting to where you are now. I think that's so amazing, because even if just like one small thing maybe was upsetting you at the time, and then looking back at it, it can be like, oh my goodness, I'm so proud of myself.
Yes. No, 100%. I agree. Or like even honestly on the flip side too, even moments where I'm like so overwhelmed, I can look back and be like, even though your feelings are always valid and I was overwhelmed for a reason, like, okay, like these are tools now with 2020 hindsight that I can use in the future if I have something similar. Like, how did I get through that feeling? And just continue to use those. Yeah. I also, have you ever partaked in a hot girl walk? Because I love a hot girl walk.
Of course. I love a hot girl walk.
I don't know, maybe we should explain what that is.
I feel like we should.
It's just a walk. It's literally
and you're a hot girl walking.
Yes. But you can be a hot anyone walking.
Absolutely.
And it embodies that. But it's just like the idea of taking like a mindful walk, releasing everything, like letting your mind like turn off for just a little bit. And I love it. I think it helps me so much at school too, just like taking a break from schoolwork, whatever.
And I love that it's exercise too, because I feel like it combines two of the best things, turning my mind off, and then also just making sure that I'm getting the exercise that I need, because sometimes I feel like I'm a hermit just working on my schoolwork all day. So it's just nice to, go outside for just a little bit. Yeah.
No, I agree. And I think exercise is another mechanism that you can use. And obviously that can also be an unhealthy coping mechanism in some senses too. But,
absolutely.
Finding, like work or yoga, something that can be used as like a release or a moment of just letting go can be really helpful, and exercise is good for that, whether it's a walk or yoga or whatever. Yeah, Pilates. That's a good one. I do love Pilates.
I've been doing it recently. There's a couple apps that you can download, and it's just like 15 minutes. I have like a little yoga mat in my apartment that I just do it, so it's really nice.
Love it.
In between like homework, like writing an essay for a really long time, I'm like, oh my goodness, let me just do some Pilates.
Yes. No, that's also good too, because I think like I was talking about yoga, but it's also hard sometimes, you know, we go to Pitt, and
what?
but there's not a yoga studio really on campus.
No.
There's things you can do through the school. There's organizations, but you know, you have to get on the bus and go to Shady Side if you want to take a class or something. And so it's hard. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, not having the opportunity to necessarily take the time to get somewhere, travel somewhere, and then have an hour class and then travel back. So having the online, you know, options and the apps and things like that, like you were just talking about, is super helpful to just, even if it is just 10, 15 minutes of your day.
I agree. The best things in life come unexpected, and especially with our coping mechanisms, they kind of just came out of the woodworks, and we kind of just found out what we wanted to do. So, yeah.
Well, to circle back to this crocheting stuff,
how are you doing?
I have a little bit.
You have a little chain. Right?
I have a chain. I do have a chain.
That's so good.
Trying new things. Maybe I'll take up crocheting.
Oh my gosh, please do.
Yes. Well, thank you for showing this to me today.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited. I think that it's nice to just try new things and see what helps, because like I said, you go through, you know, periods where maybe yoga's not my thing for a little bit, and I'm like, I'm just not really feeling it. And, you know, you need to, you know, take the time to try new things, find something else that works for you for those moments. So I'm excited to have this. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely.
Lastly, this podcast would not be possible without the support of St. Clair Health. Please listen to the following ad.
At St. Clair Health, we're always improving, building on our commitment to face the challenges of today, making an impact on the communities we serve, so we can be stronger together. St. Clair Health, expert care from people who care.
Thank you for all of our listeners for your support. Reach out with any episode ideas or feedback at podcast@outreachteen.org.
Thank you. Bye.
The views and opinions expressed in the Teens Tap In podcast represent the opinions of the hosts and their guests. The views and opinions expressed by Outreach Teen and Family Services employees, donors, and volunteers are their own and do not necessarily reflect the view of Outreach Teen and Family Services or the show's sponsors. The content here should not be taken as counseling advice. The content here is for informational purposes only, and because each person is unique, please consult your mental health provider or physician for any mental health counseling or other medical questions. The podcast should not be used in any legal capacity whatsoever, including, but not limited to, establishing a standard of care in a legal sense, or as a basis for expert witness testimony. No guarantee is given regarding the accuracy of any statements or opinions made on the podcast. If you find any error in any of the content of the podcast, please contact us at podcasts@outreachteen.org. Outreach Teen and Family Services, its sponsors, donors, and partners expressly disclaim any and all liability or responsibility for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, consequential, or other damages whatsoever arising out of any individual's use of, reference to, reliance on, or inability to use this podcast or the information presented in this podcast. Please go to www.outreachteen.org to see the complete notice and disclaimer for the podcast episodes.